All right, so apparently I forgot to hit record when I drew this sigil. So we don't have a time lapse, but the message coming through this one is like way too strong to throw away. So we're going to start right at the interpretation. The sigil came in really fast. It came in really sharp and weirdly calm, like something that's already been decided, I'll say. And when I look at this, I'm actually seeing a map, not metaphorically, but like literally. Every cluster, every node, every line, I mean, they're like little checkpoints on the way to this day, which is what's written down here. So before I walk you through what I see in the lines, let's get a little clearer on who the sigil/map is meant for. I'll list a few things here. So this sigil may be for you if you are someone who's been living between two truths, or you've already been through 4 major nudges of some sort, or you're deeply self-aware, you've been circling maybe the same lesson, you've got possibly suppressed possibilities waiting for you, and you're standing on the edge of a real decision. If any of those resonated with you, welcome. You're the one for sure this drawing was for. If that's not you, I encourage you to stay anyways, because there's likely some little nuggets of wisdom in here for you too. So let's kick this off with the first thing that grabbed my attention, as I'm sure it did everyone else, and that's the giant big eye front and center here. In sigil language, a single eye isn't about being like watched. It's actually about recognition. It's the awareness moment when something becomes conscious. It becomes visible and undeniable. The 2 tendrils that are feeding into the iris here, that's intake. It's a convergence of 2 separate streams of information or energy or truth pulling into one point. This is the moment of seeing clearly, the day that something clicks. And the tendrils themselves, all of them, all the branching lines here, they look like neural pathways or sensory filaments. It's like energetic wiring. They're crossing and looping and redirecting. This means something in your internal wiring is literally rerouting. An old loop possibly broke, a new cognitive pattern snapped into place, and this is the kind of process that happens right when a belief drops dead. And then the bulb creatures. So we've got 2 here, like threshold guardians. The left looks like a small kind of probing larval entity, and the right one looks like it's more developed, like with sensory hair or tendrils. This is evolutionary polarity, where you came from versus what you're becoming. Left represents your instincts. It's like your inherited reflexes, and the right is your discernment. This is your higher order intuition. This is literally the before and after of a transformation. The center point here, it's pretty faint, but there's a woman's eye in the center of this, and I'll zoom in the camera so that you can see better on when I edit this. And this is the heart of the entire sigil. Your eye. This is your internal witness, right in the middle of the structure. This tells me that this day isn't something happening to you. It's actually something you recognize from like a higher place inside yourself. It's your own awareness meeting like an outer event. Also, with the pod plus the eye, that to me is gestation with recognition. Something that's been forming inside of you for a while is becoming conscious. And those upper curling tendrils here on each side, those are breath. Those are spirit. This is ether. This tells me that the field, the spirit realm, the physical realm, the astral realm, these are all reacting to whatever you shifted. And then I'm being drawn here to the spiral behind the eye. And that's timeline coding. Spirals aren't random. They're how energy marks evolution. And this one is tight enough to show the process has been gradual, it's controlled, and it's building pressure. The fact that it sits behind this eye means that you've been circling this moment for a long time. This is the download stamp here. This day is the point where the spiral meets the actual surface. It's like a realization clicks for you. Something rotates into place for you, or a truth that gets accepted on all levels of your being. Again, mind, body, emotion, and spirit. So it's not just something that's happening for you in all spiritual realms, higher, lower, dimensions, etc. This is also happening internally for you. As within, so without. It's telling me it's a yes, it's time marker. Let me say that one more time. It's telling me it's a yes, it's time marker. Whatever that may mean for you, however that resonates with you. And then I want to touch back on this right side pod here. So this is your past. This is where you're coming from. This is what you're becoming. But this pod feels like the variable as well. I mean, it's connected to the transformation path, but it's not central to it. The seeds on the left edge here, there's these little dots that are drawn in. Those are options. They're possibilities or outcomes that haven't been sprouted yet. They are present, but not all of them will manifest. And this pod reads like a side path or a detail becomes relevant on this day, but it's not the core event. It's more like the thing that tags along. Maybe it's the consequence or the actual result. All of these opportunities, these seeds, they won't all manifest, but they might become apparent or they might click for you on this day as that result because they were on this parallel path, or they were, better way to say it would be they're tagging along on this main trajectory of transformation. Okay, and then they're drawing me to the central line here. This is the darkest line of these three intercrossing ones. And this is the spine, the backbone of the entire sigil. It's very, it's rooted, it's straight. It's not like in the sense of being wobbly or chaotic, right? It's thick and it's clear and it's clean. When a sigil draws itself like this, it's not about chaos. It's about inevitability, a path that's already chosen. Everything hangs off this line. Every pod, ring, tendril, eye, everything is part of one movement downward. This is why the sigil feels like fate and not a prediction. It's not showing you what could happen. It's showing you exactly what the energy is doing right now that will happen or is happening. And then these branchings at the base here. This is like the two pathways at the bottom. If you notice very carefully, and I'll again try to zoom up so I can show you. I lost my pointer. I'll use my pen. So these two lines, they intersect here, these two threshold guardian lines, right? And then you have the main line that goes up beneath that or behind it, but it doesn't quite touch the same point of intersection. You see how it's slightly above? There's like a gap. It's like this middle line is separate from these two central vertical lines here, or the spine. And these two lines splitting off at the foundation here are the final choice point. They split after all the checkpoints. They don't split before. The choice doesn't change the event. I'm hearing it changes what you do after the event, after this day. All right, and then next I'm being drawn here to the 4 vertical donuts. These 4 rings stacked under the eye, these are checkpoints. 4 is always stabilization. It's building and anchoring here, but their spacing matters because they're evenly placed, which reads as phases, not chaos. Here's how I would break it down. So ring 1 at the top here, that's the realization forming. Ring 2 would be the old patterns destabilizing. Ring 3 would be the new direction, the one that's taking shape. And then the bottom ring here is the moment that it anchors into reality. This is the countdown structure. Except now it's not numerology. It's like literally drawn into the sigil. Understood. Okay, so if I were to lay this whole sigil out as a map, then the sequence would be intake of 2 converging truths here, and the recognition of it with a big I. And then you've got the 4 internal checkpoints, these 4 nodes. And then your inner truth awakens here. The intuition, the woman's eye. And then there's like a timeline completion with the spiral. And then a secondary consequence appears here with this side pod with seeds. The final decision point is at the base. This is why it feels like a process more than a message. It's literally guiding you through the mechanics of a moment arriving. And then this day. So I drew the words this day on the final, as like the final mark on this page. It's what I heard when I was kind of taking it all in after drawing this, because I sat back and was like, what the hell did I just draw? What is going on here? And I heard really distinctly the words this day. It's not just here to label the drawing. It's actually like energetic binding to this exact day it's speaking of, this exact shift. It marks closure of one energetic cycle here. It's like the start of a new one, and a moment you want sealed, not lost in the noise. It's basically your subconscious saying, remember this. This is important because this day everything changes. It's fascinating because when I was just staring at this, again, after drawing it, it looked to me like the inside of a head, kind of like that it's just like reorganizing itself. This is a neuro sigil, a reprogramming map. And the creature forms, these things here, those are your inner guardians shifting roles. This isn't some like mess going on within or around you. This is structural. But when does this moment arrive? Let me see if they'll indicate what the timing is for this day. I've got a few numbers here. We've got 2 pods. We've got 5 of these little neural roots. We've got 4 of these checkpoints. Okay, yeah. Okay. They're drawing me to the 4 checkpoint rings. This is 4 units away from your next major recognition moment. So let me explain. 4 units. So this could be 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 minutes, or even 4 events, 4 separate events already unfolding. But it's 4. Whatever it is, it's going to be 4 always. Yeah. Okay. And then the spiral. They're drawing me back up to the spiral. So the spiral behind the eye here indicates this is an ongoing process. It's not like a sudden shock. This didn't start recently by any means. This is something that's been circling you for a while. And so this day is tied to a recognition, not a date. The big eye looks pretty straight at it, straight towards it. Same with the second pod is looking down towards it as well. You'll know it when these two tendrils, or the two separate truths, the two separate energies, finally converge. That's the trigger. Regardless, with no like really truly chaotic lines in here on the sigil, this means it's not a long timeline. This is imminent. All right. Well, that's where I'm going to leave this at today. If you'd like to work with the sigil directly, I will put the Etsy link in the description below. There's a digital download and in art print format and oracle card format as well. And I'll see you on the next sigil stream.